Welcome, everyone. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I will be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about how to retrieve your power. Now, this might seem like, well, I still have power, but many people don't realize that they relinquish their power in some shape, some way, or some form. Because if you think about it, if you look at someone and you say, oh, wow, they have a good life, that right there is giving your power away to have that good life. You might say, I'm in a situation, maybe debt, maybe unhappiness, maybe a bad relationship, and you say, I can't get out. That right there is giving your power away to the ability of you making the change that you are living right now. But how do we get into this mindset? How do we fall into this habit of giving our power away? Because it might seem like what I talk about in my mindset coaching and the limiting beliefs and what I've seen as a teacher, it happens at an age that you won't believe, maybe before you're even born. Because in a sense, the energy that we feel, the actions that we do, it might not seem like it's going to have much repercussions to the people around us, whether it be a child, whether it be a spouse, a loved one. What we do, what we say, it has so much meaning and is so profound that we can make a difference in our world, but in also other people's worlds. Because what we put out, we might get back, but what we put out doesn't necessarily have to always be reflective of our internal beings and our actions and our feelings and our frequency per se. Because if I'm putting out positive, 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 but inside I'm negative, 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 it doesn't balance out. I know a lot of people, they try to be these angels, they try to be these saints in the world, and they do all this good and they do all these givings, but yet they're the most bitter people. Yet they're two-faced, yet they have all of these issues in their life. And they play the blame game. Oh, the reason why this is happening is because of this, because of that. They have maybe become peaceful on the outside, but on the inside, they're struggling. But yet in life, we don't have to struggle like that anymore. In life, we can learn abundance. In life, we can learn to be more than what we are right now. We can live good. But yet, many people won't choose that good. We have to focus for it first. So today is going to be an opportunity for us to focus on that good and for us to retrieve that power that we have been giving away, whether it be consciously or unconsciously. We need to figure out how to get that power back. And today we're going to be bringing on a guest. She is a power retrieval coach, Mary. She's going to be helping us understand her job and how she helps people. And this is an interview you do not want to miss. Welcome, Mary Armendarez, to Coaching in Session. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you for having me, Michael. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks so much for coming on. We're going to be talking about your work. You are a power retrieval coach. I'm not going to really talk about it because I want to get straight into it because what you do is so interesting. And when I found you and I was like, whoa, like there are people who do this. I was like, that's amazing. Because it's almost like when people ask me for the first time, they're like, what is a mindset coach? And some people have never heard about the aspect of a life coach or a mindset coach, but the aspect of a power retrieval coach is going to be so powerful for so many people. I'm so excited to have you on. In your own words, tell the world who you are, what you do, and how you help.
I love that. My name is Mary, and I'm a power retrieval coach. A little background about me. I used to give my power away to everybody. I was born with 9 other brothers and sisters, and I was the youngest girl. And from that day, I didn't have a voice, and I grew up Catholic, so I was always scared of God. I didn't know anything about angels or love, any of that. Long story short, I ended up going to a all-girl Catholic school, and I got pregnant. All the guilt, shame, unworthiness started bubbling up within me. I couldn't even tell my parents I was pregnant because I was just, no, 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 you're a bad, bad sinner girl. Then I ended up marrying a man who was 15 years older than me. So I'm a 20-year-old married to a 15-year older gentleman. And he really, I gave all my energy and all my power away to him. And I did that for 20 years. And then one day my daughter gave me a book about angels. And I opened that book and I started reading. The power of the angels just came through me, and all my guides, all the angels, everything that I used to work with as a child I'd play by myself. I had all the beings around me. They all started coming back, all started coming back. And I went, wow, I don't need to live in fear and anxiety all the time, because I was constantly in fear and anxiety about what other people thought of me, about making sure everybody else was happy, and not taking care of myself at all. No self-respect, no self-love. And when you're living your life like that, it's depleting and you don't have a voice. And it's nobody should live like that ever. We're not supposed to live like that. We're supposed to be creating a reality of love, happiness, and joy all the time. What I learned from the angels and my team is that I was leaking my energy, constantly leaking my energy. So I was giving my power away to everybody else. And I learned that energy never dies. So you can call back your energy and your power from wherever it's been taken from you. And the big thing is will, right? Your will power, that is strong. And when we do things that are against our will because we're serving others, you're massively leaking your energy. So what I've done is created power retrieval techniques, and they worked, and I used them to regain my strength. And so I teach people how to retrieve your power, how to call back your energy, how to step in your mastery, how to go in and start healing those wounds and all those times that you leaked your energy and gave your power away to other people. So that's basically what I do.
And that is all going to be a powerful asset for someone to realize and to learn about, to learn these techniques, to learn these methods, to fill in the holes that they might not even know are there. In your experience, and I'm sure it could be different from person to person, what is the average age that people start to leak their power?
No, when you're a child, when you're a baby. Because what happens is whatever your mother, when you're in the womb, it starts there. When you're in the womb and your mom, like she didn't want to have you, or she's so stressed out in her daily life, dealing with other kids, dealing with a partner, her husband, whatever, right then and there, your vibration is vibrating unworthiness. I'm not wanted. I'm not loved. So it starts right there. And then it just keeps building as we move forward. And what do? We just sit there and we keep our mouth shut. We don't open our mouths. We take it because we don't want to upset the apple cart, right? But it's going against our will. It's just like when we're a little child and our mom's saying, no, no, you can't do that. Or you don't see that, or you shouldn't believe in that. That's going against what these little children are actually thinking, seeing, and feeling. And right now, Michael, the children that are coming into the planet right now are very different than what our generation is, because there are higher vibration beings that are coming here. So we need to learn how to change that. And it is changing because parents are waking up more. People are waking up faster, that we don't need to live with fear is the biggest teacher on schoolroom earth. So we're here to learn that fear is an illusion and all there is love. So yeah, it starts when you are, most people when they're in the womb.
I was a teacher for many years before I became a coach. And I can see it from teachers, from parents, the limiting beliefs that we give them, the negative energy that we put off, whether it be verbal or nonverbal. And it affects the children. As they grow up, they're more burdened, it seems like. They're not as ambitious, do the things that maybe you or I might have done when we were younger. How many kids do you know that live inside their homes? They don't go outside, they don't go to the park, they don't experience the joy of life. They live in their box, they live in their bubble, they live in their comfort zone. And this could be the result of parents being so career driven and focused on what they have to do. And when you're so career focused, it's a good aspiration to have, but it can be very stressful. And subconsciously, we might not know that we're pushing off that stress onto our loved ones, whether it be a spouse, whether it be a child, family member. That right there is going to almost be like putting a drop of dye in water. Maybe one drop won't change it to purple or red or whatever. Actually, it's going to be the primary color. So it'll be blue, red, or yellow. But eventually, the more drops we put in, eventually it's going to be more cloudy. And then eventually we're not going to be able to see through it. People have a hard time seeing themselves today because they're so busy looking at everybody else as the reflection of what they should be. Do you believe that is an issue we also have in giving away our power?
100%. So what do? We judge, constantly judging. We're judging other people. And when you're judging other people, you're judging yourself. So you are 100% leaking your energy when you judge. Wanting, wanting, wanting. You want what other people have. I want this, I want that. You're leaking your energy. And then you can go into the future. Oh my gosh, we're not going to have enough money next week. We're not going to have a money next year. All of that is leaking your energy constantly. I teach people how to take a book of, I do a lot of visualization in my work. And I teach people how to take a book of future expectations, right? So you're holding a book of future expectations. That is the number one reason people can't sleep, is because they're always in the future. And when you're in your future, you're constantly, so you're in your male ego mind, you're constantly projecting. I teach them how to take this book and you go stand on a bridge and you try to drop that book. It's really hard sometimes, Michael, especially if I teach them for the first time how to do that. Take that book. So you're taking those beliefs that you are making up in your mind and you're dropping it into a river. And sometimes you're holding on with one hand. You're like, gosh, I don't want to get rid of this. But once you start learning how to drop that book, the future of my expectations, drop that book and you see it start going down the river. And then you dive into the river and you say, I surrender. I surrender. But yes, it is so out of control. So we got the judging, we've got the wanting, we've got the future expectations. Now that's all male driven ego mind, right? And then we go into the female mind, and then that's the blame, shame, guilt, right? Oh gosh, I feel terrible. I said that to that person. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I feel so guilty. I'm so ashamed of myself for how I spoke the other day. All of that. So we're going in the past, right? So we're either in the past or we're in the future. And when you're in the past and your future, you're not in the present moment. And most of us, when you stop and be in the present moment and you go, what am I feeling? I'm feeling pretty good right now. Am I safe? Yeah. My belly full? So why are we constantly doing that? Because of the outside world, right? So we need to start learning how to tap in to who we are, stand in our strength, stand with our feet firmly to the ground, connected to Mother Earth. That's the whole secret. She truly is our mother while we're on planet Earth. And you know who our grandmother is here?
Who?
Archangel Morgan, the moon. So if you think about it, doesn't it make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
What you do is you stand firmly. This is a great exercise to do every single day. This is how you can start controlling yourself. Yes, stand up. If you can't go outside, doesn't matter. Stand up in your home, put your feet firmly on the ground and say, I release any anger, any energies that are not mine, any emotions that aren't mine, any fear and anxiety that I am feeling. I release it down to you, Mother Earth. And then once you start getting that connection with her, like, moms are supposed to soothe you and keep you safe and secure. That's her job. That's why she's here. So once you start doing this and practicing regular, then you just sense that energy flowing down through you, and she's just absorbing it for us. And then you connect in with her, and then she'll bring up the beautiful green golden energy back up to your body. And then you say, Grandma Morgan, the moon is where your intuition comes in. That's where the feminine energy starts coming in. I pretend I put a moon hat on. Grandma Morgan, fill me up, overflowing with your beautiful energy. So my intuition is spot on. So I can stay in the present moment. It's so awesome. I have so many tools that help so many people around the world at staying in the present moment, because every time we think negative thoughts, we're leaking our energy constantly. I have so many people that cannot sleep at night. And once they learn to call their energy back and start taking those deep breaths into their being, everything starts switching quickly for them.
One of the things you said, the ego. And when you said that and how you described it, it reminded me of the story of Dan Millman. Dan Millman was a gymnast, And he has a book, a movie called Peaceful Warrior. And in the story, in the movie, they even depicted it, was a moment when he had to let go of that ego, very similar to how if you're on that bridge and you have that book and you're trying to drop it. And it was almost like an argument, like, I can't let this person go. This is the person I have known so well. This is who I'm accustomed to. This is the person who makes me feel safe. And it wasn't until he let that ego go that he was able to do amazing things in his life, in his world, because there's a power that comes with living in the moment. And it's hard to live in the moment when you're trying to look at the past, look at the future. You're being distracted. Not many people can be mindful like that because stress, anxiety, they live full of burdens. And when you're trying to live a life full of purpose and power, your burdens are going to be anchors slowing you down from reaching your goals and your potential. Yet, many people, they might know this, but they still allow it to happen. It's like they allow the world to happen to them instead of them happening to the world. How can we start to be people that happen to the world more readily? Maybe we can get into those techniques, or maybe just the aspect, the concept of being pronounced in life.
That's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. And that happens for all of us because there's tons of people that have always gone in their ego mind. Me, I'm first one to admit it. And it's a process. It's not overnight. You're working on yourself constantly. With that, what you said, I want to combine with what you just said because it was beautifully put. Limiting beliefs, right? That is the thing that really takes us down that garden path that we don't want to be going down. It's the hamster on the wheel, the limiting belief. Oh yeah, no, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not going to do that anymore. But then we slip back into those limiting beliefs. What I do with power retrieval, with the session with power retrieval, is we go up into the library of beliefs and we remove them. We remove them out of the subconscious. The subconscious we've got, so it's like a house, right? We've got the attic, and then we've got the main floor where you sleep, and then the kitchen, and then we can go all the way down into the dungeon. Now, when we're going down into the dungeon, those are beliefs that you brought in with you as a soul from your past lives. We are working with a lot of things that we don't even understand that we have within us that we're like, where's this pattern coming from? Right? We go in, I teach people how to go to the library of beliefs. So we're going into the subconscious and we start removing books out of the subconscious and we throw them in the violet fire flames. And violet fire, people talk about it, it's Saint Germain or whatever you want to call it. What it is the energy of the violet. It's transformation and forgiveness. So once we start going in there and pulling these libraries out of the subconscious, you'll start seeing your life and those patterns and those beliefs start disappearing. So it's super powerful what you can do for yourself to start standing in that mastery of you. And the more you start pulling out these beliefs and patterns, another layer will come up. So it's this massive process that keeps happening. And then there's layers that come up that you're like, I didn't even think that ever affected me. I had one client that she said she's so scared to leave her house because she thinks she's going to be attacked by men. I was like, oh, okay. So we went in there and we removed being raped, being a victim, being scared of your father. And she just started bawling because these are things she brought in from her past lives. And she's like, I didn't even know that I was carrying this stuff around. So it's very powerful. There's a ton of little tools that you can do to start getting out of those beliefs and patterns so you can start standing in who you truly are. I hope I answered your question.
This is the perfect conversation you and I are having because when I ask a question, I love being a little vague. If you know anything about me, I like to leave it up to interpretation because I like organic conversations. That's why I don't like speaking with people before I do the episode. Typically, if I get to know a person, like I don't want them on the podcast because I know I'm not going to really have like the best conversation. It's going to be very generic. And you and I are having a real, truthful conversation. And this is what I love because we can really dive deep into the nuances of our work. because what you do helping people retrieve the power that they have lost is going to be just like an eye-opening experience for many people because they're like, I never heard about this. I don't know that I was giving my power away. And we do have to look at the two dynamics right now because you said that you had a client who was afraid to go out because she would be attacked. Was that fear self-endowed, meaning she gave it to herself, or was it something that society or a parent gave her? This is where I think we have to really look into because people sometimes don't realize why their life is going downhill. There is a reason, there is a circumstance. When I go through work with people, we look at the past a little bit, we look at the results, and eventually we start to find the holes that they keep falling into. And those holes are typically man made that they did in themselves or something that they just never did the work to fix, meaning they just never learned it, right? Ignorance is bliss, they say. And I'm a huge fan of if there is an issue, if there's a problem, let's fix it. But sometimes you have to figure out the root cause. Think of if you have using the house analogy again, right? You have a leak in your roof. You're probably not going to go say, well, we need to go get new drywall. Maybe eventually, if you don't fix the roof, but there's going to be different aspects that we have to focus on in your life. So when we start to look at giving away our power, right? That client, maybe we can use her as an example if you want to. We don't have to because I know that could be very personal. Was that more of her doing it, or was it someone else, society, whatever, kind of telling her, and then that became her belief and her truth?
I think it was her making it up in her mind, and she made it so more and more fearful and more scared in her psyche that she started being more fearful of everything around her. Then I think you can really, if you don't start clearing the mind, you can really start bringing more energy. So, okay, let's talk about this. We're energy, right? We're made of energy. So when I think happy thoughts, more happy thoughts are going to come to me, right? Because my vibration is up. When I start thinking fearful thoughts, I'm bringing more fearful thoughts into me. And what else are you bringing into me? You're bringing entities that are at a lower vibration as well. There could be entities coming in at you and going, yeah, let's be scared. Let's be super scared to go outside. Let's be super scared to go down those steps because you might fall. Can't go in that car because I might get in a car accident. See what happens? So now more and more of that fear is going to come at you. And that's exactly what was happening to her until we went up and we cleared it. Those, and then just bringing those fears of men, of being slavery and being in giving your power away to men, because that's what exactly where it triggered from, is being beaten and being a healer too, right? So I'm not allowed to speak or be who I truly am because I got beat or I got put to death or I was put in flames, what they used to do to healers, right? So all of this is from present, but it's got a lot to do with the past. It's crazy how we can bring this in. And when our ego mind starts really taking control of us, we're just activating more and more of that fear to come at us. And that's when we start really, really going down. And that's when we start taking medications, we start drinking too much, and the anxiety level is out of control. And then here comes disease. With power retrieval, I teach you how to bring your sexual energy back because we've given our sexual energy away to people that we didn't want to have sex with. You bring back your heart energy, your heart power, your heartbreaks, your regrets, right? All of that is just this bunch of darkness that is just inside of us. And eventually it will turn into inflammation in our bones and disease if we don't start kicking it out. There's so much, Michael. Basically, it is our minds that are running the show, and it shouldn't be. So what runs our show? How's this work? We are a being on planet Earth, and we're in this human body, and our soul, oversoul, or people call it higher self, lives up in heaven. So we've got this massive, massive energy that is pure love that lives in heaven. And they said, I am going to create my soul. Her name's Isabella. Said, I'm going to create Mary, and I'm going to have her have all these restrictions and all these belief patterns. And she's going to have to deal with this. And I'm going to plop her down on planet Earth. Who wants to run the show? not my ego, not my personality, my higher self. So, how do we start connecting to our higher self? That's the key. Because your higher self knows what you're supposed to do. Your higher self knows what patterns and beliefs you need to get rid of so you can start evolving, right? We're here to evolve. Our soul that stays in heaven is learning. That's why we're here. It's not this, it's not us, it's this. Our experiences here bring that information back up so we can evolve into a brighter, more creative being in heaven where our soul lives, our oversoul lives. So you want to start tapping into your soul. This is a really cool exercise to do. I suggest all your people that are listening to do this. So does everybody knows a pendulum, right? You know, Michael, a pendulum. You ask it yes, and it'll do circle or go back and forth, and then you ask it no, and it'll do it. So this is what you do to start connecting to your soul. This is so cool. Okay, you go, you breathe, you just breathe, and you want to just expand your body wide and tall. So I like to expand my body as big as Texas. So you try, you just keep breathing, expand your body as big as Texas, and then you expand up. You go up as the biggest tree you've ever seen. So now you're in this beautiful expansion of your light body because you're made of light and sound. And I like to get so tall that I can put my hands on top of the trees. So once you're in this expansion, you go, soul, show me my yes. And you will feel it. Some people feel it on their fingertips. Some people feel it on their right side. Some people feel it on their left side. And just stay in that energy. Show me my yes. Show me my yes. And then you go, soul, show me my no. Because we want to know. Show me my no. And then you'll feel it somewhere in your body. And then you put it to practice now. Now, I want you to do it very simply. I want you to say, in the morning, soul, should I have coffee? No. Oh, I can feel no. Should I have tea? Yes. So just do it with real simple things. Should I go right? Should I go left? Do that for like 21 days so you can really feel your yes and no. Then start asking your soul the harder questions in life and watch, because the synchronicities will start lining up. All these things will start lining up because your soul is running the show. Isn't that cool?
That's very interesting because when you're telling yourself yes and no to little things, you don't necessarily think they're going to add up to the big things later on, right? Should I have coffee or should I have tea today? It might seem insignificant at the moment, but then we keep tacking on. I like to think of it as compound interest investing. You can invest $1 today and you might think, oh, it's just $1. But it's also the habit of investing, the habit that you're giving yourself that is positive, right? Investing typically is a positive thing. It's not something that I'm going to go gamble. All right, let me go gamble today. It's a negative aspect, right? You lose $1 most likely. The pros and cons of power retrieval can be the yes and no. Also, it's like the yin and the yang. It's that higher self versus the lower self, the higher vibration versus the lower vibration. And many people are stuck in that lower vibration. Yet they can choose to start to look at the higher vibration. And as you said, just asking yourself, right? Expanding yourself, getting wide, getting tall, and then asking the yes and no questions. It might seem so simple, but sometimes the simplest answers or tasks can lead to the most profound opening or eye-opening experiences I have found. Because we can say, all right, you have to do this, you have to go to the Himalayan mountains and you have to go over there and you have to make sure you have this sea salt, and this sea salt you have to eat in all your food. And I mean, it could be a bit much because people are trying to do these superficial things that are like the band-aids, when really we do have to do that surgery per se and go inside and elevate ourselves. That right there is going to be more profound when we do that.
Yes.
Do you think a person who decides today they say, I'm going to start my 21-day journey to a higher self, do you think that after the 21 days, they're going to recognize who they were?
I think that is an absolute step to it, 100%, because you're going to start feeling and sensing your soul in charge then. And that's, you're in the present moment, right? We're not in the future and we're not in the past. When you start asking your soul, you're right here, right now. So yes, 100%. And then the more you do it, you're going to feel the energy. So everybody talks about when they start waking up or whatever, oh, my third eye, my third eye. No, it's the feeling. What are you feeling? What am I feeling? What do I need? What am I feeling? I'm feeling anxious. Okay, I need to go talk to Mother Earth and release this. And you can do it in your mind. Mom, take this anxiety and fear that I'm feeling and let it go. Fill me up, overflowing with trust and love. Done. Easy. And it's not about seeing, it's about your intention, right? Anything that you're going to do. If you're going to stop drinking, what is it? It's your intention. Then what is it? It's your will. Are you willing? Because it's up to you. It's not up to me. And people don't realize that when your life isn't working out for you, the outside life, it's because the inside is not full. You're not beating at your own drum. You're not tapping into your higher self, your soul. You're letting all of this, just like we talked about at the beginning, run your show, keeping up with Joneses. I got to have that. I got to have that. Uh-oh, what's happening to my credit cards? Uh-oh. No, it's time to stop, start releasing that. I release the fear. I release the anxiety. Mom, fill me up. Angels, guides, fill me up. You know, we all have a team of angels and guides, right? You know that. The problem is we have free will here on planet Earth. So they're sitting back there on a smoke break. When is Mary going to ask me to help? Because they can't help you unless you start asking. So once you start asking for the like little tiny things, like, you know how they say pennies from heaven? You know,
I'm not sure of that phrase. It's new to me, that phrase.
yeah, or feathers, see a feather and you're like, oh, that's for my angel or whatever. But the more you start asking them, so what I do is like, oh man, where did I put my key? Angels, hey guys, can you tell me where I put my key? And I just for a second, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there it is. It's so cool. Just start asking them. Okay, so how does that happen? So we're this big energy field, right? We're this massive energy field, and we want everything is coming at me so quickly right now. They want me to tell you so much. Our chakras truly are our energy batteries, our spiritual energy batteries, and they need to be overflowing, flowing, right? Constantly. And I just did it because I have a podcast where I talk about power retrieval all on my own. And I just talked about joy because a lot of people are feeling hopelessness right now. So their joy is gone. I look at the chakras and I go, wow, the joy chakra has got a big hole in it. I'm leaking my energy. So you go in and you go, angels, guides, fill me up, overflowing with joy. And they'll start filling you up with that energy. Fill me up. And then the big time, what's going on with planet Earth is nobody feels safe and secure. Everybody is freaking out. They're not safe and secure. Where is that coming from? That's the root chakra, the ruby red. That's when we need good old mama. Mama needs to fill us up so we feel safe and secure. That's ruby red energy. The divine feminine energy comes in and fills you up. But my point is, they wanted me to talk about that. Now I'm going to talk about how we bring the guides and your angels closer to you so you can start feeling them. We want to be overflowing, especially the 3 chakras on the bottom. Those have to be overflowing. These, fine. That's where you connect and all that. That's fine. But the 3 bottom ones got to be safe, got to be overflowing. Your buckets have to be overflowing. So now we've got this beautiful auric field all around us because we're flowing. We are flowing, baby. We got it all coming in. Then you go like this. Angels, guides, I want to connect with you. I want to connect to you daily. And you start calling them in. So what happens is the more you call them in, the more they're going to come into your field. So that's when the magic happens. That's when I can say, hey, I can't find my key. And they're like, there it is. So everybody has the potential to do this. Every single one of us. And then just being noticed. Hey, I'm not full of joy right now. Uh-oh, that crazy lady said I better start filling up that with that joy and call my energy back. So that's basically what power retrieval is learning how to stop the leaks, stop the mental leaks, stop the heart leaks, stop this. This is huge truth. None of us tell the truth. We're not in our truth. We're not in our truth who we are. We're always looking on the outside. And that's a huge thing, being in the truth. Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. And everybody has the power to do it. And everybody has the power to learn how to connect to their angels and guides, because they're just sitting there waiting. When are they going to ask me? When are they? And most people experienced them when they were children. But what happened? You know this, Michael, being a teacher. Mommy, teachers, aunts, uncles, you don't see those beings. That's not imaginary. You're not allowed to talk to those beings. There's no angels around you. There's no fairies around you. And it's like, no, we got to stop doing that, because they are there and they are there to help.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. People are not going to open up most of the time because they feel like they have to do everything themselves. And the moment they relinquish the control to the higher self, the higher power, then they can start to steer themselves to the aspect of life that they want.
That's right.
It is a profound bit of wisdom that you have been speaking about. And though many people, they might say, oh, this is just wishful thinking. It's vibrations, because we don't even have to look at religion. I speak about religion sometimes, but in my general practice, I do keep things just neutral. Yet I am Catholic. My foundation is religion, is in spirituality. But not everyone is in that mindset, because they might feel like it doesn't exist, feels like I'm leaving myself up to someone who is not me. I'm the person who's supposed to be giving my life what I should be having. And it's almost like, as we began the episode, relinquishing that ego. That's the ego talking right there, saying, oh, we can't do this. This is who I am. I can't let go. I'm afraid to do something. I'm afraid of other people. I'm afraid to fail. I have all these problems in my life, and it begins to compound. But yet we can start to unpack some of our baggage that we have been giving ourselves. Maybe it was when we were in the womb. Maybe it was when we're growing up. Maybe it was when we're teens, or now as adults. We have to make a choice. Do we want to unpack that? Do we want to get into a higher frequency? Because most people, they tell themselves a lie long enough and it becomes their truth. But yet our truth is something that we know, but we don't look in or look at readily. It's just something that we kind of pass by all the time. Pass by. It's on my to-do list. It's something I'm going to do eventually. But today can be the day that you begin that journey. Maybe start with the 21 days. And then say, okay, I'm at the 21 days. I feel a bit different. I think I need to go deeper. And that is when, reach out to Mary and saying, hey, I have heard you on the podcast, and I started to do what you were telling me to do. And I'm starting to feel difference, but I have a couple of blocks still. And this is where the power of coaching comes in, because you can do things by yourself and it could be okay. But when you have someone helping you, guiding you, asking you those deep, dark questions, especially the ones that you don't want to ask yourself, that is when true breakthrough happens. And as we begin to wrap up, I would love for you to give us some final words, and then for you to tell the audience where they can find you.
Sure. My final words are, truly, it's about self-love. Because once you start learning how to give yourself self-love, that's when the magic starts happening within you. Self-care and self-love. Nobody else is going to take care of you but you. And start looking inside. Hey, where do I want to change? Where do I really want to change? And this is the time to do it. Stepping into 2024, beautiful energies are coming. Your guides and your team are just waiting for you to reach out and say, hey, we're here. Because the energies are so beautiful and so potent. But the first thing is self-love, self-respect and self-love. And your life will change in miraculous ways. It changed for me, and I know it can change for everybody else, and I've seen it. And yes, I'm a power retrieval coach. You can reach out to me at maryarmendarez.com and powerretrieval.net as well. You can find my coaching there as well. Thank you, Michael.
Of course. And I'm going to make it easy for everyone. All the links are going to be in the description box below. Also, your socials, if you have them on your website, go to add those in there, because I know some people just love social media. They just are addicted to it. But I want you not to only be addicted to the social media today or after this episode. I want you to be addicted to getting to that power retrieval aspect of your life, because we talked about how we just unknowingly sometimes give away our power. We look at someone, we say, "Oh, that life looks so great." We look at our life and we see all the bad moments instead of the good ones. That right there is giving away our power. We look at our friends and our family, the people who should love us, that we might not feel the love. That right there is giving our power away. So today can be the day that you begin to take your power back. You begin to retrieve your power. Do not wait for this aspect to finally become so burdensome where you become depressed, immobilized, hopeless. Because there is hope, there is an opportunity for you to change that today. I believe Mary is going to be a great asset in your corner. I encourage everyone to reach out to her and learn more about the work that she's doing to help people retrieve their power. I want to thank you so much, Mary, for coming on, spending some time with us, and talking about your work. All right, everyone, I would like to thank you so much for watching that interview with Mary and myself. What went on in that interview is that we talked about how to retrieve the power that you might not know is there. It is so interesting, to say the least, that if you're trying to get back something you have given away unconsciously, what's the point, right? Well, the point is you might not know that you're giving it away, but the moment you realize it's there and that you can give some attention to it, you're going to realize how powerful it is and then how much you should be focused on it. Because if you can focus on the power that you are giving away, right? Think of it as a leaky faucet. You might not know that you're raising up your water bill, that you're just making it more difficult for water sanitation because that small leak. But yet that leak, if you put just a bucket under that leak, and it's a drop, maybe in the morning, you have a full bucket. And I mean, this bucket can be used for many things. You can water plants, you can wash your car, you can cook with it, right? That water's clean. But yet we allow that clean water to go to waste. We allow our power to drip every day through the holes and through the crevices in our mind, in our life, in our ego maybe, through our negativity. How can we start to retrieve that power? And Mary speaks about so many techniques and habits that we can start to develop in our life. What type of technique is going to work for you might not work for everybody. And this is where the power of coaching comes in. Because I work with people all over the world. I work with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different upbringings, different circumstances. And this is where coaching comes in. Because you can get a program, you can get something that's just going to be that blanket, that Band-Aid. But when you have someone looking at your life and seeing this is where you're going, this is how you're moving, these are the results that you're getting, let's start to steer this way instead. Let's move in this direction. Let's start to make these changes. And then that's when profound change starts to happen. You might not think it's going to be something that's going to be like, I snap my fingers and then I'm a changed person. I don't know if you have ever done it before. I have. But to get rid of your ego, the way I like to describe it is, it's like tearing down the castle that you have built. The empire, your whole entire life, it's like you dismantle it. You get the sledgehammers, you get the bulldozers, you get the wrecking ball, and you tear it all down. And sometimes it's scary because then in your mind, subconsciously, you're thinking, where am I going to live? How am I going to make it? And it's these little things that are going to be holding you back from true potential in your life. And many people, they want good in their life. They want happiness. They want joy. They want fulfillment. But they're doing the things that are causing them to take a step back. And if you're living a life, maybe we can look back 1 year ago. If you're not in a better place after 1 year, maybe we have to look at how we can retrieve some of that power we're leaking out. Because that is what's happening. We're not taking ownership to what we are, to who we can be. So this is where a coach comes in, because we're going to look, we're going to see, and I guarantee you, if you haven't made progress in a year, heck, 3 months, you're going to see yourself night and day. Because I said something in the episode, I don't know if you caught it, because I could have used the word are or were. Yet, sometimes we don't recognize ourselves when we look at who we are. For example, if I look in the mirror, it's very possible I might not recognize myself, especially if there's going to be substance abuse, drugs, or alcohol, whatever. I might not be able to recognize myself because the change happens so rapidly. But yet most people who look at themselves, it's a slow decline until eventually they hit rock bottom. What we need to do instead is to not allow that drip, not allow that slow decline to keep taking over our life. We need to take ownership. We need to get back in control. We need to retrieve our power that we're giving away. So if you're ready and you're willing to retrieve the power that you have been giving away, whether it be consciously or unconsciously, you might not have known that you even had power to begin with. But today is going to be that eye-opening experience for you to realize that you can do the things that maybe were always a dream of yours. And it begins with the process of giving yourself some awareness and then taking the action. So as I said, all the links are going to be in the description box below. Reach out to Mary or myself. We'll be more than happy to help you on your journey to a better and fuller life. We are excited to see the potential that is you. And I know as a coach, what I see in a person is the potential. I don't see who they are necessarily. I see what they can become. And most people, they have so much left in the tank. They have so much left to give. You just have to find the right person that's going to help you unlock all those locked doors in your life and help you uncover all that potential that you have within you. So one day you can say, today is a yes day. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you have any questions, email me coachinginsession@gmail.com. And I'll see everyone on the next episode of Coaching in Session. Until then, everyone take care.